Hi there, my name is Parker Shear and I am a general business major. I am here today to talk about the progression of the pencil for my final project, or for my final presentation, I should say. So, what dates back to the cavemen in early times writing on walls now progressed all the way up to the cell phone and email and radios and things such as that. Um, and I think a big part of that has to do with, like I said, the pencil. So, like I said, today I'm going to be talking about the progression of the pencil. Not only that, but the goods and the bads, and all there is to it. So, to start off with, there were back a long time ago. I don't have one with me today, obviously, because it's a older type of pencil. But it was, I mean, they weren't always the best shaped. But what you did is you used to take a pocket knife and you would cut at it and you would sharpen up that lead. And then once it was sharp, you can write like you would any other time. Um, People nowadays, like contractors and house builders, anyone kind of like that, usually use those kind of pencils. We now move into more of like this, which is just a wooden pencil. It's cylindrical in form and just has the lead in the middle. And what you do, there's sharpeners, which I don't have one with me right now, but you run it through and it just sharpens it like a normal knife, let's say, would. Obviously, we're not allowed to carry around knives, though, so we can't do that. And then we move into what we have is the mechanical pencil. So the mechanical pencil is a lot like the wooden in the fact that it writes and everything, but then there's a big differences, such as it's made of plastic usually. I mean, sometimes they're made of metal, things like that. And it has the lead that's in it, so usually it can come apart and lead just comes right out. Kind of hard to show you guys right there. But so it has that, and then it has the eraser at the top, just like your other one would, which is pretty standard for a pencil because that's how it's set up. But other than that, you know, they're pretty similar. Obviously, the leads are a little bit different. The hardness is the same. Usually, you can get different hardnesses, and that's kind of getting into the technical details. But the good of the pencil, and I'm going to talk about the good of the mechanical for the day, from what it's come from, like this, to what it is now. And a big part of it, I would have to say, is the fact that we don't have to sharpen them anymore. And because I remember growing up, one of the worst things to do would be sharpen that pencil because you're always sharpening. You break it, you have to get up, go across the room, teacher's upset, things like that. And nowadays, what we do is we click it, and it makes it super easy. All we have to do is pretty much push a button, and we have more lead. The other benefit I do like to it is that they used to be made with real lead, and now they are not. So they're made with like a graphite, which makes it safer for the kids, as well as all the plastic. There's no metal shavings. I used to chew on pencils a little, and it's disgusting. I don't do it anymore, though, so don't worry about that. Other than that, I think with these pencils, this one doesn't, but there's some that you can actually have a long eraser and you can twist it on up. There's all sorts of benefits to these new pencils and all that they can do. And you know what? I'll have to say there are some bads to it as well. And I think probably one of the number one bad things, in my opinion, is that the lead is so small, and when you're writing, you have to write really delicate, or else you're just going to snap that lead. And I mean, you can't push it right back out, but you have to keep doing it. And while it is good to be able to have thicker lead, like I said, the lead's also cheaper. You don't have to go out and buy a whole pack of pencils, whereas now you can just buy a thing of lead. And sometimes it can be expensive depending on the brand and the thickness and the hardness, all those sorts of things. The other bad is they all have certain little, so there's 0.5, 0.7, 0.9, and these are the different sizes of lead. And let's say I have a 0.5 pencil, a 0.7 piece of lead isn't going to fit in that. And that's really frustrating on my end, just because it's like, well, great, now I have to go buy even more lead because I bought the wrong pencil or borrowed the wrong pencil. But other than that, you know, they're very similar. mechanical pencils do have their problems. They sometimes break. Since they're mechanical, like the word says, it's a lot easier for them to mess up and not want to push the lead out right and things like that. But overall, I really do like the way they work. I think it's amazing to see where we've come from, like I said, caveman writing on walls to things like this where we push it out and just slide our hand across paper and there's writing. Because before they had to make dyes or use kind of a crushed stone to write on it. There were so many hard things for them to do. But nowadays, like I said, there's not much that we have to do.